This is a project that I worked on for the Viper V3 Pro. When it comes to a hybrid product film like this, it really isn't just about showing off the product with nice renders. It's about capturing a belief in the product when gamers see their favorite esports player take this mouse to its full potential. So this hybrid product film becomes less about the list of specs and more about the promise built into the film itself. To give a little context, this project started off with a completely different opening. At first, I arranged the sequence in a more suspenseful, slow Zekken walk into the frame. It definitely did build some suspense in the beginning, but it didn't really fit the characteristics of the mouse. The Viper V3 Pro is all about speed and precision, so the opening really needed to match that energy. So this was our very first real challenge. Our shooting schedule was very tight, and we didn't have any extra footage outside the pre-planned storyboard. Everything had to be solved using existing clips, so I had to find a way to piece the opening sequence in a way that reflected speed and precision, while also creating that tension. I started digging past the usable parts of the footage. You know, the parts where the director shouts cut and then the camera goes, it swings away. So I took one of the shots that was supposed to be at the back of the film. I put it in front, slot that unusable footage behind, then I used that as a transition into Zekken's face. So the opening sequence now looks like the camera orbits to the left and there's that footage that smears upwards and then it pulls you in, view Zekken's face and the lights start flying all over his face. Next up, the Viper V3 Pro had a very symmetrical silhouette, so to capture that we really only could shoot it from the back or from the front. Back then, Zekken was still in Sentinels and I remember that Omen was reaching out from the depths of the darkness to grab a cube. Thought that was really the perfect reference to showcase the mouse symmetry. So there's this really small Easter egg right there for the Valorant community to find. Okay, finally we have reached our very first official key selling point of the mouse. The way I approach this KSP is using my personal experience. As a gamer myself, you guys know that if you have a heavy mouse, it's highly unlikely that you lift the mouse off the table. Most people that use a heavy mouse use it for the stability, and they keep it anchored to the mouse pad. So in order to emphasize the opposite of a really lightweight mouse, we use this human habit to drive this visual. We had Zekken swipe and lift the mouse completely off the surface, and that was the key visual for 54 grams ultra lightweight design. It's time for our second KSP in this product film. To bridge a live action footage into our HUD design sequence, I had to build a matching 3D digital double of the mouse so that our virtual camera can dive into the mouse. So the key selling point of this new optical sensor is that you can adjust your DPI by the ones. Previously, you can only probably adjust it by the 50s or the 100s. And this HUD sequence is designed to exactly show that. You can clearly see the motion graphics showcasing this single digit adjustment. But what I also did was introduce a chain reaction effect. This is to showcase that a really small adjustment can have a big impact on your responsiveness and your speed. After that, we hit the practice range to show this newfound DPI accuracy. For the final KSP, to show a highly responsive polling rate between the dongle and the mouse, this sequence was designed in almost like a cowboy standoff. You know how cowboys stand across from one another? Whoever pulls the trigger first, the other has to react as quickly. This was used as a metaphor for the responsiveness between the dongle and the mouse. Finally, we reached the peak sequence of the edit where it showcases the mouse in its full potential. The lights and the atmosphere reflect the high-paced competitive scene of the esports. One thing I can say for this sequence is, when you're working with really fast cuts and a lot of movement in the athletes, we have to be careful of the direction. What do I mean by that? If the camera swings right in one shot and then the following shot it just bounces back to the left, you could feel a little bit disconnected. One thing to also take note of is the focal point on the screen. Let's say you're looking at the middle and suddenly the next cut on the right and then the following one on the extreme left and then the following one on top. Your focus will just go all over the place and it's really hard to keep up. Yeah, so this sequence is mainly just an edit game, making sure the flow is good, making sure the storytelling is still there, and finally we brought everything together with a final CGI mouse shot so that it leaves a lasting impression of the product before the film comes to a close. People today can definitely sense when they're being marketed to. What actually resonates goes deeper than just nice renders. So craft your design with care and intent, and hopefully this process video helps someone out there. I'll see you in the next one.